everyone, it's Emma. Welcome to or back to my channel. So, if you watched my opinion video I posted months ago, I talked about it very briefly, but if you caught it, you know that I'm actually a very huge fan of MatPat. If you don't know who this man is, he owns 3 YouTube channels. You should go subscribe to all 3 of them. Game Theory, Film Theory, and Food Theory. And today I am reacting to his newest Film Theory video, because it talks about my favorite childhood movie, Ratatouille. Ratatouille was the movie I watched all the time as a kid. It was one of the only Pixar movies I watched. I've grown and watched many others by now. But this by far was my favorite one because I liked cooking at the time and I was a small child, so I liked anything with animals. So I wanted to watch this, and I will cut it down very shortly. But I hope you guys enjoy the video, and let's see what MatPat's gonna ruin from my childhood this time.
Hello Internet, welcome to Film Theory, where today's episode is with apologies to Schaeferless Productions, because, no joke, this is a pickup line. As we were working on this episode, I'm like, oh, no one talks about Ratatouille. All of a sudden, he uploads this hour-long dissertation on why Ratatouille is this, like, masterpiece of filmmaking and how...
It is a masterpiece, but how ironic.
Touches emotionally. And yeah, today I am here to rip its main character to shreds, so apologies to you. Now, I can already hear you moaning in the comments. You think grumpy old MatPat's here to ruin an animated family film from your childhood as usual. But never fear, Internet, because I'm here to say that Ratatouille is everything a great G-rated movie should be. It's a fantastic story, it has an uplifting message, it has a detestable bad guy, and an admirable protagonist. And in the case of Ratatouille, that protagonist is Chef Skinner, the guy that everyone seems to think is the antagonist, is actually the good guy. What is it?
This is a typical film theory. Not that I didn't expect it or anything. I have to rethink this. I guess maybe this could be proved, but I have to listen to him to see why.
Game theory or film theory episode? I don't know why everyone thinks Remy, the rat who's obviously a dangerous narcissist, is the good guy, but it's high time that the misconceptions about this rat tale went the way of the rat tale. If it's been a while since you watched Ratatouille, here's a quick refresher. Ratatouille stars Remy, a rat that the internet will literally barbecue me over if I accidentally call him Ratatouille. It's the name of the movie, not the name of the rat. He has a passion for culinary arts, but no reality cooking competition show to prove it on. He leaves the colony to live his dreams in the one place that he's not allowed, a gourmet kitchen. Linguini, a young member of the kitchen staff, lets Remy hide underneath his hat. This allows Remy to pull on strands of Linguini's hair and control the young man's every...
Why did I low-key want this as a kid? I wanted to be so good at cooking I wouldn't mind a rat on my head just controlling my hair. Anyone else relate? I'm kidding. Okay, sorry.
Skinner, the highly trained chef at the restaurant, suspects that something is up and does his best to uncover the truth about Linguini's newfound talents in the kitchen. Now, if this sounds like an inspirational story about overcoming obstacles and achieving your destiny, I'm sorry to tell you that you've missed the point entirely. The theoretical truth is that Remy is nobody's master chef. He's actually a bald-faced criminal. And yeah, I know you're not gonna believe me here. An actual dictionary definition criminal. He's kind of a narcissist, and he's just overall a jerk of a creature. And if you look at his on-screen behavior, you'll realize that he's not actually the good guy here. I smell a rat. First thing Remy did that put a bad taste in my mouth was establish himself as a habitual thief. Now that alone wouldn't be too big of a problem. The real issue is that he lies about it. He explicitly states that he's against stealing.
A cook makes, a thief takes. You are not the thief.
And yet we witness Remy steal literally the entire time. Herbs, spices, cookbooks, letters, and of course, food. Remy never learns his lesson either.
I will admit that is very, very true. I guess I didn't notice that as a kid. You don't notice anything as a kid. Kids are stupid. I could see his point on that. Like, there's a lot of stealing. Doesn't ruin the movie for me so far, though.
Delicious, but don't steal. I'll buy some spices, okay?
In fact, the longer the film goes on, the more brazen he becomes. First, he only steals food for himself, but eventually he starts letting his rat buddies into the restaurant to steal food after hours.
Remy, you are stealing. You told Linguini he could trust you. can't. But the boy could lose his job.
Which means I would too. It's under control, okay?
He's not just stealing on small scale, he is stealing in massive quantities. Towards the end of the movie, he lets the entire rat colony have at it. In any realistic context, this is absolutely disgusting. Not to mention that restaurants operate on razor-thin margins for their product. So stealing the food here might literally put them out of business, either for hygiene concerns or, at the very least, for them having to throw away literally tons of food that have been touched on and nibbled on by a parade of rats.
Now that I'm looking at this, why am I now just noticing that it is very disgusting? Personally, for me, a lot of people are scared of rats. I don't find them scary. I think some of them are really, really cute. So this just proves I'm a weirdo. I can see his point with it. Like, rats are disgusting. They have, like, a bajillion diseases.
Petty thieving. Still not enough to turn you against him? How about a nice healthy serving of fraud? Look at Linguini. Poor Linguine, the garbage boy. The sap that Remy literally controls like a puppet throughout the movie. When the two of them meet, Linguini is destitute.
I need this job. I've lost so many. I don't know how to cook, and now I'm actually talking to a rat as if you...
So Linguini doesn't know how to cook. Lucky for us, Remy has a great mantra that he preaches throughout the entirety of this movie.
Anyone can cook.
Obviously, with Remy's great skill, he can teach Linguini to cook, right? No.
He's nobody who takes out the garbage. He doesn't cook.
Anyone can cook.
Well, yeah, anyone can. That doesn't mean that anyone should.
Instead, Remy devises a complex system of hair pulling that allows him to hide underneath Linguini's chef hat and operate Linguini's body as though he were nothing more than a human forklift. And in the process, teach Linguini no useful culinary skills whatsoever. And So okay, Remy's selfish. He's a hypocrite. He's a thief. Those are just facts of the movie. They're on screen. They are in the script. We get it. But that doesn't mean that he's the antagonist, necessarily, right? Like, after all great heroes have their flaws. I mean, who hasn't forced two unconsenting adults to kiss once or twice, am I right?
No!
Yeah.
Oh, Remy, that one's gonna get you canceled on Twitter, my dude. Selfishness puts others' lives at risk or anything, right?
Hey, Remy, I think that maybe we shouldn't be so...
Oh my, he really is just the absolute worst, isn't he? It's almost like I told you that in the thesis of this episode. Sorry to break it to you folks, but Remy just doesn't give one rat dropping if anyone around him lives or dies. His singular purpose is to be a chef, and he is gonna achieve it no matter how many innocent rats or humans are left in his wake. And spoiler alert, both are left dead in his wake. I've already subtly hinted at the fact that he's, a rat, and rats are banned from Parisian kitchens for a very good reason. According to the CDC, rats and mice are known to spread over 35 different diseases to humans worldwide, many of which can be fatal. And Remy knows this. He understands this concept. Remy, without exaggeration, kidnaps anyone. And you know what's worse than all the crimes that he's committed to the human world? Beyond all the poor workplace conditions, the lying, the stealing, the unconsenting kisses, Remy's worst offense actually happens before he even steps foot in the kitchen. At the beginning of the movie, Remy's remarkable nose lands him the most important job in his colony, rat poison sniffer. As the only rat in the entire colony capable of sniffing out rat poison, Remy is able to ensure the colony's food supply is safe to eat. It's an admirable job where Remy undoubtedly saves lives, but he ultimately abdicates his position in favor of becoming a chef. Now, that wouldn't be a problem except for one thing. He is the only rat in the entire colony with the ability to save his friends, family, and species from a painful, poisonous death, and yet he just gotta go master that beef bourguignon.
I do agree with that. As a kid, I did question that. I was like, isn't he the only rat of the species able to sniff out poison? He was able to sniff it out in the beginning of the movie, like they showed. I mean, every time he does a film theory like this, he proves me wrong. Like, he did one for King of the Hill. That one was interesting. But it helped me pass my biology test. What am I saying anymore?
still asks me when I'm gonna get a real job and move back to Ohio. But Remy's pursuit of cooking is literally killing his friends and family. But he's an artist. He needs to spread his wings and fly. Sure, Remy, you can play with that niçoise salad all you want after you train someone else to do your life-saving job.
Nothing's been poisoned, thank God, but it hasn't been easy.
TLDR here is, Remy doesn't care about anyone else. He only cares about himself. He doesn't care about saving their lives. He doesn't care about keeping their jobs. He doesn't care about their personal physical boundaries, and he doesn't care about them keeping healthy off of the food that they eat. Long story short, Remy is just the worst. But does that mean that this movie is left with no protagonist? In a shocking twist, no. Let's shift gears a moment to consider shocking twist, no.
What did that just say?
Anyone else noticing a problem here?
This movie is left gears a moment to consider Skinner, widely considered to be the villain of Ratatouille, even though we just established that Remy fills that role very nicely. It is true that Skinner is diametrically opposed to Remy throughout the story, but if Remy is selfish, heartless, and criminally dangerous, well, what does that say about Skinner exactly? Because no matter how you slice it and dice it, Chef Skinner does nothing wrong. If Skinner is guilty of anything, it's of presenting as a villain. The sunken eyes, the fits of rage, the pencil-thin mustache. Dude's not exactly gonna be gracing the cover of a romance novella anytime soon. But what is it we're told about books and covers again? It's a person's actions that truly matter. And if we dive into Skinner's actions, we quickly realize that everything the man does is above board. He is a trained, capable chef who does know good food when he tastes it. Chef Skinner's game recognizes game, even when it appears as though the food was made by someone who's completely untrained. He listens to his staff, and he can even admit when he's wrong.
Perhaps I have been a bit harsh. You garbage boy. He has taken a bold risk, and we should reward that.
Skinner even goes so far to give Linguini, an utterly untrained garbage boy who hasn't worked in a kitchen for one full shift, more than a fair shot at proving himself as a real chef.
Recreate a soup. Take as much time as you need.
So what then is Skinner's crime? Having a dislikable demeanor? Gee, can't think of any other revered international chef who fits that profile.
Have you got enough in there? But that's all good. It's really a waste.
I'm a huge Hell's Kitchen fan. I'm on season 17 and there's only one season left on my TV. I'm gonna cry when it's over. Fits the role he's talking about, though.
Pivots the brand and diversifies the business into a frozen meal marketplace. And frozen meal business is good. Sure, it's not as classy or artsy as being a chef in a fancy French restaurant, but guess what? By expanding into frozen food, it ensures that good quality products are reaching a wider marketplace who might not be able to afford eating at Gusteau's fancy French revered restaurants.
And it sells burritos. Millions and millions of burritos.
That's not a bad thing. That's delivering more food to more people and making sure that your business stays profitable moving forward after losing its headline chef.
Being a YouTuber and also doing a lot of business stuff in my family, I can see where that is coming from. He may not be a bad guy, but he's still a lunatic.
Thankless position, and yet Skinner manages to thread that needle perfectly. Skinner is also a staunch defender of the health code, which, in 2020, we can certainly see saves lives. Remy isn't exactly washing his hands for the CDC recommended 40 seconds out there. Sure, Skinner wants Remy out of the kitchen, not because he seeks to deny Remy his destiny as an artist, but it's for the pragmatic reason that his restaurant would be closed down should the health inspector discover a rat. His staff would be left unemployed. Every person in his restaurant would be at risk of contracting any of the 35 diseases a sewer rat like Remy could carry. Not only is Skinner by the book when it comes to health code violations, he is also 100% right about Remy. Even if Remy's half-hearted hand washing were to somehow rinse all the bacteria from his body, he's still a threat to spread any of dozens of diseases when he's, biting people all the time.
Yeah! This is not gonna work, little chef.
No sanitation is gonna clean the bacteria out of your mouth and teeth there, Remy. Throughout the film, Chef Skinner is an absolute Boy Scout. And what does it get him in the end? Kidnapped and hog-tied by a horde of rats and locked in a walk-in refrigerator along. But hey, that's just a theory. A film theory.
Okay, what do I think of this theory? Do I think it is knowledgeable and intelligent? Very much so. His theories are always like that. Does it ruin the movie for me, though? No, it's still a childhood memory of mine. It's still my favorite movie. But good job, Matt Pat. Good job. Well, I hope you guys enjoyed this, whatever the hell it was, reaction video. If you enjoyed this video, you can subscribe if you want. I hope you stayed to the end of the video, and I will see you guys next time. Bye, everyone!